Welcome back to the show. Next to me is Wizzrobe, the young god, the prodigal son, as I was calling you on the commentary,
Cool.
doing extremely well this tournament. The best you've ever done, I think, bar none.
Yeah.
Tell us first, just your first impressions. Like, after this tournament, what are your big takeaways?
After this tournament, well, first off, I tried very hard to prepare for this tournament in terms of like what I do to start the day and that kind of stuff. So I have some ideas. People always complain I'm playing bad, this, and that. I feel like I've like gotten better at being able to prepare and play well. So I'm gonna keep those ideas that I'm using. And I lost to Mango in losers, so he gave me some advice when fighting Falco. So I'm going to just try and get better versus Falco.
Yeah, I think we actually had a long conversation about like how to prepare for tournaments and even health stuff at Genesis, if you remember, at Genesis 3, the player lounge. So what exactly did you do, if you don't mind me asking, to really prepare?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like a lot of people are realizing it more and more, but a lot of people don't take preparing as seriously as they should, in my opinion. Not everyone, but more people. But some of the newer things I did was I just tried I got this friend now who's helping me choose like the right foods to eat and stuff. I already had like an idea of what
Nutritionist.
was healthy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's been helping. Also, especially early in the morning, it's like the prime time that people usually play bad. So I think it's partially because the blood's not flowing well. So something I've been trying to do like this weekend is like go jogging for a little bit before I come here and take a shower and stuff.
That's good. It's important to do. Personal health, very important. U.S. government, I know you don't think that we're a sport or we have athletic abilities, but clearly at least affects your mental state.
Yeah,
it does a lot to help you succeed. I'm not talking about the actual game here. This run that you had, you went through a lot of different matchups, a lot of different players. I guess the first set I want to talk about, because it was the craziest one to me, especially considering how well you did, was actually the SFAT set.
Yeah.
Against Fox, it seemed like every time you hit him, your punish game was on point. But in the neutral, everything like that, can you give a short breakdown of how you like to approach the Fox matchup, like and what you try to do both in the neutral and of course after you get the hit?
Okay. Neutral's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of weird. Sometimes when I just get really warmed up, I just can really like play well in neutral. Like I noticed like a thing I had before when I would get nervous or like I was like more like pressured. I'd start being slower, so I've been trying to kind of keep that in mind and try and keep like moving fast, throwing out hitboxes fast, and just. I especially like keep applying pressure. I've been thinking about that a lot this weekend, like keeping the pressure up when it's necessary in neutral and not like letting go.
Not letting go, not backing off.
That was my main.
And
mindset.
Actually, we referenced the HGC stats a lot because you actually went to that tournament. And we had a lot of advanced stats pulled from that tournament, and you talked about keeping yourself moving, keeping everything up. You actually had the highest actions per minute of any player, but actually a considerable margin.
Yeah.
You're like Silent Wolf for that tournament, who I was like at 280, 270. You were like 330. Which is ridiculous.
I heard I was fastest. I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah, by like a solid margin. 50 APM is a lot, guys. So there's that, and also the thing that you had was you had the highest edge guard percentage.
Really?
And actually like tracking it during the event, like there were stocks like the first stock you had against Mango, for example, in the Dreamland game.
Okay.
You stomped him over and over again.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this guy, you're just not dropping anything.
Yeah.
There was an extremely difficult edge guard that you managed to get. In terms of your mentality on edge guarding, like how do you approach it? Is it like an option coverage thing? Do you try to read, or how do you go into it?
Well, I have certain like visual cues. Like obviously, if they're low and they're gonna up B, I'm gonna like stomp. And I feel like Fox, they get like up B, they get like tech inside B. That seems like the hardest one, but a lot of Foxes don't do that, and it seems kind of hard too. What else? I also like to use the weak knee, like as that's kind of like an option coverage. Like even if I don't think they're gonna run into it right away, just jump out with the weak knee and then up air. That's what Hacks used to do too.
Yeah. So low percent against the spacey, you get them by the edge, right? And you do down throw, and then there's the multiple down throw, forward throw, and there's a lot of like GIMP setups that are potential there.
Yeah.
You got a few GIMPs off, right? We saw later in Hax's career he started doing those as well, right?
The weak knee.
And then people stopped doing it for a very long time.
To be honest, I think the reason for that is because like I was still doing it. Maybe like I kind of like did it less, but I still did it. A lot of Falcons don't really know how to do it. Like they're starting to do it more and more. Like Gravy's getting good at it. F2J's getting good at it. But I think, to be honest, like most of the Falcons weren't really doing it when Hax quit Falcon.
Yeah.
And
so it kind of just died off, right?
Yeah, it just kind of died off, but I think
you've refound it. I mean, like you did a ton of your stocks were GIMPs, like just pure GIMPs.
Yeah.
You don't normally think of Falcon as like the gimping character.
Yeah, that's like
but he actually,
GIMP.
but he totally can do it, right? Like he absolutely can do it. The GIMPs you see with Falcon is when he like knees someone at 60 and they back. Like that's a GIMP. In a way. I
think it's kind of risky. You got to really know when you can do it, and like I always feel like there's some risk unless you have a really good spot. If he's in a really bad spot and you got him, but I'm just trying to get really good with it. So
okay, sure, dude, that's so good. I'm sure you're on an absolute high of doing so well. But talking about your loss against Mango. You started the day in losers, but Mango was the one who ultimately took you out. It looked like when he went from Fox to Falco, it's a complete change-up. He lasered a lot against you, actually.
I think the main thing with Mango is I did not expect him to go Falco. I knew his Falco was really good versus Falcon, but all the sets we've ever played and all the sets I've seen him play against like other Falcons really in NTSC, like he always uses Fox, so I really did not expect him to go Falco, so that kind of threw me off. I also did not really I fought a Falco earlier this weekend, like one tournament set. I haven't really practiced much versus Falco this weekend, so like the ideas I used versus Falco, they weren't really there right away. They were coming more during like the last two games, but overall that kind of threw me off, but also he picked up on like my habit. Yeah,
even in those like final Falco games, you were down for most of the game. There was 2 stocks in one, and both games, like something you took crazy stocks and then went last stock both games in the stadium games, right? I think you snuck under his double laser once, and Mango's been getting punished for double laser a lot recently.
I was kind of surprised I get that. I usually don't get that specific one where I get the grab. I usually don't get that one, but I got it.
It's usually when they do a high one, right? So what is Falcon against high double lasers? Do you just do a full hop thing? Like, what do you really have against double lasers when you're
okay, so you have the grab. Usually it's harder to get, but I got it once versus Mango. I think you can like shield the first and grab in between the second.
Yeah, I think Mars can do that.
It's definitely like vulnerable. Sometimes you can like full hop as he's coming up and kind of hit him, but I'm trying to think exactly why it doesn't work versus the top ones, top level Falcos as much, but that can be an option. Sometimes a down tilt. I usually try like full hop or sneak something through the lasers.
Sneak something through, yeah, it's tough. I know Falcon, you definitely have to dash through and kind of get the shield one laser, and sometimes that's the best way.
Yeah.
And what often happens is if you go for a grab while they go for the second laser and you guys like do it the same frame, they do that weird. You've seen that before where the grab thing just like knocks them out.
I didn't think of that though.
Yeah,
but you're right.
It does do that occasionally. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But that was super cool. In terms of going forward, right? You obviously performed extremely well. One of the best Falcon performances we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Going forward, like what you're gonna go home. You're gonna look at these vids. You're gonna learn from it. How do you then dissect everything you did and then learn from it? What is your improvement process?
Okay, so for looking at videos specifically, I try. Obviously, I look at them myself, but I also have like a few people who help me look at videos. There's some like players out there like Sammy and
Drug Fox,
like a couple others that are really good at helping me look at videos. So I think it's important to look at it yourself, but it's also important for other people to look at it because they have different perspectives, etc. So
I think in this day and age, we've been seeing how much that matters, right? Like getting a different perspective. Some people call coaching, maybe it's a little bit of mentorship where, it's just taking someone else, especially people who play your character itself, right? Like I'm sure you learn a lot from the Falcon mains that are surrounding you in Florida, right? And you guys are able to talk and kind of have that hive mind approach of using your styles and being different, but at the same time, finding solutions together.
Yeah, you're right.
So how do Gatsu and Gravy, like, you guys obviously like are this little unit. How do you guys interact? You guys like just like do you have like a Facebook chat? Is there, how do you guys keep it going? What is 20GX
doing
to the people? Yeah, what are you guys doing together?
We're trying to push Falcon more. We're trying to improve ourselves too. We don't really have like a Facebook chat, but we like message each other and stuff
all the time.
Like I've been trying to get together with Gravy a lot as well. Gravy's always good at finding new ideas and stuff, and like little small intricacies that people don't really know about.
Yeah.
Like on Dreamland, on like the side platforms, if you like instantly double jump and like nair or back air at the right time, you can do aerial interrupt.
Oh, okay.
And it's where you like instantly land on the platform at no lag.
Yeah, like Samus does.
So like that's just one example, but we're just trying to do stuff.
Trying to keep the race car man going. That's good. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the neutral air interrupt. And actually, aerial interrupts overall are still pretty unexplored.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard. Like you can definitely get it consistent, but that would be pretty cool if I get in tournament just like double jump, aerial interrupt, and like grab on a platform instead of wave dash down or something.
Yeah, that saves a lot of frames, right?
Yeah.
Wave dash down. Of course, there's 10 frames. You gotta sit there.
Yeah.
And your lag. So that's a huge tech for sure. Yeah, going back and talking to those Falcon guys, I'm sure that must be an awesome resource.
Yeah.
And just taking them and you guys all improving together. And actually, the other two Falcons as well. Overall, the whole Falcon base is doing a lot better. We're having like a pretty good Falcon era where after Hacks retired, we actually had a big lull, I would say. And now it's like between Nunn, S2J, and the Florida Falcons, you three. It's pretty good. That's not bad. That's like arguably, we might approach an era, assuming everyone keeps getting better, where we have 5 Falcons in like the top 25-ish, top 30. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think all the Falcons are like trying a lot harder than before, and I think we're working together better as well. So everyone in general, but the Falcons too, they're trying to get better and work on stuff.
For sure. Well, I'm happy you're keeping the character alive. I think that's really important. Everyone loves watching Falcon, of course.
Yeah.
But I also love watching the new take on it. Seeing how you edge guard, especially, is one of the most fun things for me because even at the highest levels, edge guarding, you watch it as a fan, you're like, oh, that's free. He's gonna die. Very often they come back, right? Yeah. There's so many mix-ups. It's hard. And to be able to cover it all like that, that's super impressive. So,
yeah, thanks a lot.
Sick. Yeah, sick. So, congratulations. Happy to have you on. I think we're going to take a little quick break. We're probably going to have Mute King next, the third placer. But good stuff, Wizzy.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Congrats. And see you guys back in a second. We're going to take a small break.